The Indiana Fever were supposed to be the story of the WNBA this year. Caitlin Clark's arrival was meant to bring hope, wins, and a playoff push. Instead, this season has been anything but smooth. Injuries, trade drama, fan controversies, rumors about the future of the franchise, and somehow, the Fever are still standing. Let's break it all down, because the Indiana Fever might be living through one of the wildest seasons in league history. The numbers are staggering. 5 season-ending injuries, 4 starters gone. You don't see that in professional basketball. You don't see that anywhere. Analyst Rebecca Lobo even said the Fever made unfortunate history with the sheer volume of bodies lost this year. And it wasn't just role players, it was foundational pieces. NaLyssa Smith, the versatile forward, sidelined. Kelsey Mitchell, one of the team's best scorers, lost. Key depth pieces dropping like dominoes. And then, of course, Caitlin Clark. Clark has dealt with multiple setbacks, a groin strain, a quad injury, and now a bone bruise. Every time it felt like she was turning the corner, something new popped up. Officially, the Fever insist there is no timetable for her return. They say they're protecting her long-term health, but fans aren't buying it. Scroll through Fever Twitter, Reddit, or even TikTok, and you'll see theories everywhere. Some believe Clark's season is already over, and the team just doesn't want to admit it. Others think management is playing a PR game, keeping hope alive to keep fans in the seats. When the Fever signed Bree Hall, a rookie out of South Carolina, fans read between the lines. To them, this was confirmation. Clark isn't coming back this year. And that's where frustration sets in. Because Clark wasn't just supposed to be another rookie. She was supposed to change everything. As if injuries weren't enough, the Fever got rocked by the DeWanna Bonner situation. Bonner was supposed to be the veteran leader, the steady hand to balance all the youth. Instead, she was absent for personal reasons. Then the rumors started. Word spread that Bonner had actually requested a trade, that she didn't plan to return. And sure enough, the Fever waived her. No trade, no return, just gone. That opened up cap space, sure, but it also opened up questions. Was this about chemistry? Was Bonner tired of being part of a rebuild? Or was this a sign that inside the locker room, things weren't as stable as the team wanted us to believe? But while stars were dropping, one veteran refused to quit. Odyssey Sims. Sims isn't new to the grind. She's bounced around the league. She's been doubted before. But when her number was called, she answered. 14 points off the bench. Hustle on defense. Leadership in huddles. Small things, maybe, but they matter on a team that could have folded. Still, you have to wonder, why is this happening to Indiana? Is it just terrible luck? Or are there deeper issues? Fans have started to question whether the training and medical staff are overworked. With rotations so thin, are players being pushed too hard? Too fast? Nobody inside the Fever will say it, but the whispers are there. While chaos swirled, Aliyah Boston has been on a mission. Game after game, she's been a force in the paint. One night, she dropped 27 points, 13 rebounds, 6 assists, and 2 blocks. It wasn't just a stat line, it was a statement. Boston isn't just holding the team together, she's reminding everyone she's a future MVP. And here's where things get interesting. Some fans think the Fever might actually be preparing to build around Boston, not Clark. Sounds wild, right? But think about it. Boston is healthy, she's dominant, she's consistent. Clark, meanwhile, is hurt and surrounded by uncertainty. The front office won't say it out loud, but in fan circles, that rumor has legs. As if injuries and trades weren't enough, the Fever found themselves in the middle of a national controversy. After a Fever vs. Sky game, reports surfaced that Fever fans had directed racist comments at Angel Reese. The WNBA immediately opened an investigation. They reviewed game audio, they reviewed video, they interviewed fans and staff. And their conclusion? The allegations could not be substantiated. But by then, the headlines were everywhere. Barstool's Dave Portnoy jumped in, blasting critics and defending Fever fans. He claimed the controversy started with online trolls and vowed to apologize if proven wrong. For Indiana, it was another distraction in a season full of them. Suddenly, they weren't just fighting on the court, they were defending their own reputation as a fan base. This is where the pressure really shows. Some fans are furious at the organization, demanding more transparency about Clark's health. Others argue management is being smart, protecting her from rushing back too soon. And then there are the bigger rumors. Online, you'll see people say the WNBA itself isn't giving Clark the spotlight she deserves, that the league is holding back on marketing her, that politics, favoritism, and even jealousy are in play. Is it true? There's no hard proof, but the fact that fans believe it tells you something. The Fever aren't just managing injuries and losses, they're managing expectations, hopes, trust. And right now, that trust feels shaky. So where does this leave Indiana? On one hand, they've been tested like few teams in history: injuries, trade drama, rumors, controversy. On the other hand, they're still fighting. Boston is dominating. Sims is grinding. Role players are stepping up. This isn't the season fans dreamed of when Clark arrived. But maybe it's the season the Fever needed, because if they can survive this storm, they can survive anything. But survival isn't the end of the story. The real question is, what comes next? Will Clark return and reclaim the spotlight, or will this season mark the quiet beginning of Boston's era as the franchise cornerstone? Will the front office double down on building around two stars, or be forced to choose one path over the other? And what about the fan base? Indiana has been blessed with some of the most passionate supporters in the league, but passion cuts both ways. If Clark sits out longer, or if transparency continues to feel shaky, will those same fans turn on the organization? Because here's the truth, the Fever's problems don't end when the final buzzer sounds. Free agency is looming. DeWanna Bonner's exit already showed us that veterans aren't guaranteed to buy into this rebuild. Could others follow? Don't be surprised if more roster shakeups come this offseason. And then there's the unspoken tension: Caitlin Clark versus Aliyah Boston. On paper, they're the perfect duo. Outside shooting, plus inside dominance. The new face of the league paired with the future MVP. But behind the scenes, some fans whisper that Clark's star power overshadows Boston's growth, and others think the team is already leaning toward building around Boston instead. That's where jealousy, politics, and favoritism creep in. How much spotlight does Clark get compared to Boston? Does the league promote one more than the other? And if you're in the Fever front office, do you risk alienating one cornerstone while catering to the other? Even the league itself isn't immune. Some fans already claim the WNBA has been hesitant to fully embrace Clark, that her marketing push hasn't matched her impact. Others argue the opposite, that she's been shoved to the forefront while vets and stars like Boston, Reese, or A'ja Wilson fight for equal shine. All of that builds pressure. Pressure on Clark, pressure on Boston, pressure on the Fever to prove they're not just hype, but a true contender. And that's why this season matters more than the record shows. Because if the Fever can't control the injuries, the rumors, and the politics now, what happens when expectations get even bigger next year? Caitlin Clark isn't just a player, she's an industry. Her jersey sales shattered records, her games draw massive TV ratings, and she's already changed the way people talk about women's basketball. But that spotlight cuts both ways. Every injury update, every missed game, every off night becomes national news. And that doesn't just weigh on Clark, it weighs on the Fever as a whole. Aliyah Boston, meanwhile, is quietly building a case as the best young big in the league. But instead of being celebrated on that stage, she's often overshadowed. Fans are already debating, is Boston being undervalued because she doesn't bring the same TV numbers as Clark? Or is the league intentionally holding back, afraid of creating a face of the WNBA rivalry inside the same locker room? Add Angel Reese into the mix. Add A'ja Wilson. Add veterans who feel their legacies are being squeezed out of the headlines. Suddenly, the conversation isn't just about Indiana anymore. It's about whether the WNBA can balance its past, its present, and its future without creating divisions among its own stars. And here's the kicker. If the Fever stumble again next season, if Clark isn't healthy, if Boston feels overlooked, those cracks won't just show up on social media. They'll show up in the locker room. Teammates whispering, veterans questioning, fans turning frustration into anger. The Fever aren't just playing for a playoff spot. They're playing to hold together a franchise, a fan base, and maybe even the direction of the entire league. So the question isn't just whether the Fever can win games now, it's whether they can carry the weight of expectation, the spotlight of controversy, and the pressure of an entire league looking at them as the future. Because if this team can hold it together through all of this, the ending to their story might be bigger than anyone imagined. Entire league. So I'll leave it to you. Are the Fever building something strong? Or is this a warning sign of deeper issues? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more WNBA breakdowns. Because one thing's for sure, the Indiana Fever aren't just playing basketball, they're living through one of the most dramatic seasons we've ever seen.